You're listening to SM Media, the home of exclusive West of Scotland Football League content. Hi folks, and welcome to the latest episode of the SM Media West of Scotland Football Show. I'm Scott McPike. It's an absolute pleasure to be your host as always. Absolutely thrilled to welcome this week's guest. It's a pleasure to welcome on the show the Eglinton manager, William Shearer. William, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you very much, Scott. It's a real pleasure to be invited on to the show. It's a big first for me, so thanks very much.
No worries. I'm looking forward to this one. It's going to be a decent show. We've got a lot to talk about. It's been a really good weekend for the West and the Scottish Cup, but obviously yourself, new side to the West this season. Eglinton, I'd kind of spoke to you a wee bit about the journey and taking this step from the kind of Ayrshire amateurs into the semi-professional setup. What's it been like, and obviously how much he is kind of enjoying it so far?
It's been a whirlwind, if I'm being honest. It's quite a big learning curve for us. We started off as a youth team, Scott. A kind of B youth team, to be fair. I took over the team. I've only started coaching maybe about 8 or 9 years ago. Took over the team and through just worked away through the youth into 21s football. 21s COVID hit obviously, and then I kind of thought that was it. Bye. To be fair, the boys came back after COVID and decided that they wanted to play amateur. Went into the amateur ranks, and we've always been quite a weak and ambitious group, to be fair, and through various conversations with different people, we kind of decided, you know what, why don't we try something different and try this kind of pyramid system? And thankfully we got accepted. Lost them to a meeting on the 3rd of March at the sports club. We had about 50 people turn up, and we sat and spoke about it, and spoke to the players and what it would take and how much work we need to put into it. And we just went, you know what, let's go for it. We're trying to do something a bit different.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to create a really good environment for players to kind of grow and learn and develop on and off the pitch. It's been a whirlwind.
And it's obviously get into that kind of league where you've got some kind of good sides in it as well. As you say, it's a good learning curve when you're playing against some kind of good teams and things like that as well. So it's obviously about that, like kind of getting to that level of, it's not going to be a case of it. What, like in 12 months, it's everything's hunky dory. It's a progression. It's going to take a while to get it to where you want it to be.
No, definitely. We know that. We've got our own kind of wee target where we want to be for this season. But this season is really just about cutting our teeth and try to learn the league and try to learn the kind of opponents we're playing against. Every game's difficult for us.
Mm-hmm.
Every game is difficult. Every game's challenging. But as I say, we knew that when we took the step. We knew it wasn't going to be. You're not going to go 1 week and play a team that's kind of quite easy. Whatever else you're going, every game's going to have a challenge to it, especially for where we came from. But again, that's one of the reasons why we've took the step up. I mean, it's what we want to be involved with. It's the environment we want to create for players to really push ourselves. I've got a really good group of coaches that's been with me for quite a numerous amount of years. With Sammy Taggart and Davy Cormack. I've got young Stephen Snedden who's came in for college last year. The boy's brilliant, just a young lad, but a great coaching brain on him. Stephen Forrest that's come in for Burst 20s when he folded. A lot of contacts. Sean Black, our new goalkeeping coach. Another guy's got great contacts, and Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown's, from what I'm trying to create, it's quite hard to put into words what we're trying to create there within the group, but Kevin Brown's been a huge part of it, and his company, the Mindmasters things that a lot of us are part of Fit Ayrshire Dads, and it's a real safe place to grow, and that's what I try to create within our environment and within a football club. So it's not just a football club or something else here. So he's a big part of that. So no, we're all playing a part and trying to push ourselves on and meet the challenges head on. It's challenges every week.
Yeah, absolutely is. But it was a big result on Saturday. A 3-1 away one at Thorn Athletic. That's a massive result. Obviously, third win of the season, now sitting in 9 points with 10 games. That was a massive result on Saturday. You must be thrilled with that.
Aye, definitely. We're going through a bit of change at the moment where we're kind of changing our style of football a wee bit from what we used to play amateur or youth, because what we've realised quite quickly is we were quite kind of heavily possession based at kind of amateur and youth football. And when you can make mistakes, and sometimes you maybe get away with it. At this level, you can't. So we're kind of, over the past 5-6 weeks, we're trying to change our style of football and being a wee bit more direct and how we're going to manage that. Thorn, that's our third time we've met them. So the guys are great. Thorn are brilliant. The coaches are brilliant. The players are brilliant. But came up with a game plan, and thankfully it worked. So it was a really good result. The boys really played really well. It was very competitive. 2-0 up at half time. I done a couple of chances there as well to maybe make it 3 or 4. They came out all guns blazing. Got a penalty, scored the penalty, and it was end-to-end stuff. And then we managed to score a free kick right at the death, a great free kick with Dylan McClintock. But again, when we scored the third goal, I kind of took a wee breather and looked out, and it was great to see. Honestly, it's got players running on the pitch, celebrating the goal, a lot across the line. There's folk in the committee jumping up and down. It's brilliant, and it's something we're trying to create. It's a real good family and club atmosphere. It's really, really good. So, and hopefully, it's just going to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, here's hoping. It's a really good project you've got going at Eglinton. We'll maybe get your kind of thoughts on what's coming up later on. There's some big games for Eglinton coming up in the next few weeks, and obviously with the Scottish Cup, it's a monumentous weekend, I would say, for the West as a whole. You've got
Absolutely.
The first one. I think we've got to tip our hat off massively to Drumchapel United, a 1-0 win at home to FC Edinburgh, who are flying in League One. It's one of those results, like Drumchapel obviously getting in through the Strathclyde Demolition Cup. They had to win that to get in the Scottish Cup. It's to get from that to then go into the fourth round, and then obviously they have a very, very winnable tie away to Elgin in the next round. What an achievement that is for everyone at that club.
It's phenomenal. It's great to see that. Drumchapel, obviously, Drumchapel amateurs, they came for as well. They've been in a wee bit, obviously, in a couple of seasons longer than us, but to see that, it's the drama of the cup, isn't it? It's what you want in a cup. No, the guys have obviously done brilliant to get through, and then another great away day up to Elgin. So I think they'll fancy their chances. To be fair, they've obviously got a lot of experience within that squad now, and you know what I mean. At the end of the day, it's 11v11. They've managed to win a game there with lately the chips were against them, but no, they've done brilliant. So I know us at Eglinton wish them all the best, along with every other team that's still left in.
And it's the beauty of this pyramid system, isn't it? I know we've said sometimes it works for and against kind of West clubs and the way it works, but you look at the Drumchapel kind of coming from the amateur background, can straight into the kind of West, building their way up, and now they're getting a bumper tie like that, and you saw the crowd there, you saw what it meant to their fans. It must make every kind of West club dream, like obviously like yourselves as well, like that's the ambition to where you want to get to in the future.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you see them coming up obviously through the ranks, and they've done well in the conferences as well. That was, I think, our Division 4's a bit like a conference just now. It's a bit of a Shark Tank, and I watched the West last season, and every league was a Shark Tank in there. You're likely, if you're a team, you're coming up against other teams that are a lot better than you, and maybe teams that weren't as good. But again, every game was competitive. That's what it looked like. But no, Drumchapel have done brilliant. It's definitely something we'd love to emulate. Yeah,
absolutely. Another team that threw are Darvel, a 5-2 win against another League One side, and Trozy and McShane with a double. And the reward for Darvel is a bumper home tie against Aberdeen. On some occasion.
Wow, it's going to be a sellout crowd, that, isn't it? At Darvel.
I saw there was things that they were talking of moving it to Rugby Park. I have been told by people at the club that that's not happening. It will be played at Darvel's ground.
Yeah, no, I seen that. I think it was the night. I seen it in Twitter. John Gall said, like, they've went for the licence. They've got the licence, so why would they not play it at Darvel? So it's a great thing for that village.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
To be welcoming in Aberdeen in January. It didn't come true, and what a great challenge for Mick Kennedy and his squad.
Yeah, I mean, it's that thing as well. Like you've got sides like Darvel, Drumchapel, obviously Auchinleck in the past and things like that. They go to teams with no fear, and that's what you want. They shouldn't be fearing going to teams like that, because you can give anybody a right game, and they've got the players to do it. Ian McShane, he's done it before. It's such a good weekend. Auchinleck would come up short against Wraith Rovers, but again, speaking to people that were at the game, Auchinleck gave a good account of themselves, and Wraith were just better on the day, and Conley getting a hat trick. And it's that thing as well. When you're coming up against teams like Wraith who are that bit better, you just want to give a good account of yourselves and just hope for the best. And there wasn't Auchinleck's day.
Nothing each at half time, Scott, for Auchinleck and Wraith, and you're obviously Wraith championship team. What they sitting third, fourth, or I'm not really too sure.
I think they're in the mix, yeah.
So I mean, they're no mugs. So for Auchinleck to go up there and come in at half time, nothing each. I know obviously Tommy lately when they've been too happy with the result. He's a competitive guy, mega experienced, lately one of the most successful and experienced managers there is at kind of West level, or obviously it's junior level. But again, maybe the result never went away, but they've gave a good account of themselves, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. Another team who gave a really good account of themselves, and was obviously on the telly on Monday night, was Pollok, a 1-0 defeat at home away to the Championship League leaders, Ayr United. Ayr United, I don't think Ayr United were at their best, but obviously Pollok, they were in the game they gave a really good account of themselves. New manager Stuart getting in there, it was a baptism of fire to say the least. He went in and they did themselves proud, and they just came up short against a good side who just probably deserved the win because they were just in control, I thought. But they weren't playing brilliant, but they just I didn't think Ayr United were ever kind of in the position where I could see them losing a goal kind of thing. They just looked relatively solid.
Yeah, no, I think Pollok's that in. I've got a real soft spot for Pollok, Scott. We obviously went there in the cup, and I couldn't fault the guys. They were absolute gentlemen. The hospitality and the way they treated us was brilliant. So I've got a real soft spot for them. I was hoping they would do a turn last night, but again, you've got to, this is 4 tiers up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're pushing for promotion into Tier 1, obviously. Full-time football, playing against guys that are obviously part-time, maybe got a lot of experience in that, but I thought they'd done brilliant to go in 1-0. Don't get me wrong, the Pollok keeper had some brilliant saves. The boy Akinyema was pretty good. I know he's been, I think it's 14 goals in 16 games he scored in the Championship, so pretty prolific, but Pollok kind of kept him quiet, to be fair, and they kind of had a few chances themselves, breaking away, sitting in and breaking away. So, and obviously a new manager, what a massive challenge for a new guy coming in the hot seat.
And he came across so well in his interview as well. Just see when they were speaking to him during the game, it was just like usually you would think the first game live in the TV, a ground like Somerset, you'd be nerves, and Stuart just looked totally in control.
It looked as if he'd been there for the past 10 years. He was brilliant, really, really good. No, again, I just think it shows exactly what the pyramid system is all about. There's definitely, especially, I don't know a lot of teams from the East, but there's a lot of teams within the West that you can see could be playing higher up that pyramid system. They just need a chance, or need the opportunity to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously a brilliant weekend in the Scottish Cup, but we did have some league action with a lot of league action during the week. We'll start on Friday night at Kilwinning Rangers 0, Glenafton Athletic 1. Sean McKenzie with a 91st minute goal for the Glens, which gave them a massive 3 points. I saw David Gormley's interview after the game, and he said it was the definition of a smash and grab. Going by a lot of people's reports, it seems to be accurate.
I think it was a hurtful one for Gorms and the team. I'm obviously, we train next to him quite a lot, and we share the kind of same facilities. I've had a few football conversations with the guy. He's really, really nice guy, along with Bill and David. Good football and people, good to talk to. Good for us to learn off of, to be fair. I felt kind of sorry. I quite like a wee Friday night game down at the Burst Park, but I've been involved with the SYFA Scottish National Development Programme up at Torry Glen on a Friday, so I've missed a few Friday night games, but I can add a listen. I was reading the tweets when I came down the road. It was quite a kind of sore one to take, but I'm sure they'll bounce back. He's a great guy, good footballing guy, and I'm pretty sure when the Rangers will start climbing up that league.
Yeah, I've no worries about winning as well. I know they're maybe in a false position sitting, but they've got 3 games in hand and the majority of kind of sides round about them. I would say that's a massive win for Glenafton. I know obviously we've spoke about, like, I think the Buffs hit the post 3 times. I think they hit the bar twice. I think the Glenafton goalkeeper had one of the games of his life, but I think that win will just give them a massive boost. And you see, for example, it takes them up about 4 or 5 places in the league, and it's a massive 3 points for the Glens, I would say.
It's a tight league though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's very,
absolutely.
very competitive from top to bottom. No, every game does matter, but that kind of league there, I mean, 3 points can make a massive difference to a team when they're sitting, even when they're sitting down at the 13th, 14th position. So no, I've no doubt Coinnan will climb that table very, very soon.
Yeah, I think it's probably a massive win for Glenafton and Coinnan. I think we'll get going again. Hurlford are now sitting second in the league, a 2-1 away win over Petershill. Jack Whittaker with a double. Again, with Hurlford, it moves them a point behind Darvel. Darvel obviously get 2 games in hand, but a big 3 points. It was hard fought, but it's Darren again just shows you how good he is at getting Hurlford going.
Yeah, no, I'm sitting second, as you said, going into maybe the kind of break there, but I don't really know, to be honest, Scott. I don't really know a lot about Darvel. I've seen them a few times when they came down at the Buffs kind of game. I think last season they beat the Buffs 2-0 down there. They're another step Premier League. Us and it's sitting as new in the 4th division. Look at the Premier League and with starry eyes, but they're obviously they're a very, very good side, and they'll be quite happy with where they are in the league at the moment.
Yeah, Hurlford, a brilliant result for Hurlford as well. Jack Whittaker been outstanding since he's been there the past couple of seasons. He's really kicked on. A brilliant game at Beith, 4-3 to Beith against Darvel Meadow. Monty, Fowler, O'Neill and Monk with the 4 goals for Beith. That takes Beith into 4th place, just 2 points behind Darvel. You'd get your money's worth if you were at Beith on Saturday.
Absolutely. A tight game, obviously. I know Chris, obviously, for when he was at the Buffs, worked quite close with him when we ran the 21s, and he was with the first team, so plays good attacking football, so they'll be quite happy sitting at 4th, and they'll obviously want to be pushing higher up that league as well. And Darvel Meadow, George Grierson's done a great job in there since he's came in.
Absolutely.
He's got result upon result. Just goes to show you what can happen when a new manager comes in and gets his ideas across into the players. So no, it sounds like a great game, 4-3. So aye, definitely.
Absolutely. We just want to wish for best as well to Darvel Meadows, George Grierson on his recovery from his hip injury. We wish him all the best and hope to see him soon. Beith as well. 2 players I want to single out, and I know you'll kind of agree with me on one of them at least. Carlo Monti and Josh Fowler. Carlo Monti, obviously, Straney's brought him in because he knows him well. He's been really involved in a lot of goal improvements for Beith the past few weeks, and Josh Fowler's been outstanding this season. He's probably been one of the players of the season in the league, I would say.
Carlo, again, Josh, you obviously see him in the score sheet quite a wee bit.
Yeah.
Carlo Monti, I've seen him at the Buffs, great at the free kicks as well, and getting the goals, and an influential player wherever he goes, the guy. So you can obviously see why Chris has brought him into Beith. One of the reasons why they're sitting 4th at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Big win for Cambuslang, their 2nd win in a row, takes them 8 clear of Petershill, and obviously puts a very dangerous gap, I would say, for Petershill. I might actually say that earlier on, but Petershill will be maybe panicking a bit now. They're now 8 points behind anybody else and without a win in the last 11 games.
And I see Cambuslang have also got a game in hand on them, so
yeah.
Petershill, I know through the juniors they were kind of up and down with the league, the top league, and they've
lost a lot of players division. As well.
So it's always going to be a challenge.
Yeah.
Always going to be a challenge for them. I think it's 3 goes down there, isn't it? So it's a tough kind of second half of the season for them. But you just need to keep working away and pushing on, and hopefully you get something out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive win for Cambuslang, though, going to Largs, and as I say, getting that wee bit of a kind of gap and getting back into contention with everybody else is always good. Yeah,
Largs, always dangerous team, isn't they? Well known. So for Cambuslang to go away from home and pull off a result.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be a really interesting kind of season for Cambuslang as well, because they've struggled the past few weeks. Obviously they've lost a lot of players but they're getting going again. A wee run can take you 3 games unbeaten, and they're now beginning to look pretty good. Rob Roy, obviously managerless after Stuart Maxwell left to join Pollock during the week. A 2-0 win over Troon, so without a manager, they can still get a big win. And it's one of those wins that they needed because they lost the last 3 league games, and getting that win in the board and getting back to winning ways is good for Rob Roy.
That brings them up to, is it 5th they're in the league?
They are sitting 5th
now, so
above Pollock.
Yeah, above Pollock. I think Pollock's got a game in hand, to be fair. I know I've got a week in a Pollock top, I think, but no, it's a great result, especially when you've just lost your manager. It must be, you can imagine how the players kind of feel there. So for them to go in and get the win against Troon, definitely a big result for them.
Yeah, and one thing as well, whoever goes into Rob Roy is going into an absolute gold mine. Not a gold mine, but yeah, he's going into a really good ship, because one thing about Stuart is he made that, he was there a long time, so he's built a really good kind of infrastructure. The club are making improvements in the stadium. There's a really good set of players there as well that Max has worked with for so long, and he's got them playing a certain way. So whoever's getting into Rob Roy, I think, is getting into a really good side, and I think that could be a job anybody in the West would be happy to go for. So big result for Rob Roy. Cumnock, their third, a 1-0 win over Atherley, a late goal from Graham Boyd securing the 3 points, ending Atherley's 4-match winning run. Cumnock again, they just keep going. They're sitting third. They're now 2 points behind Darvel. They just keep, that train keeps going.
That's it. A wee bit like Hurlford, to be fair.
Yeah.
Atherley could have been a real banana skin for them, especially when the run they've been on. So for them to get was it a late goal? I didn't know that.
I think it was like 10 minutes to go. Yeah.
So for them to maybe, obviously a good result for them to get the 3 points, but you're looking at that. I'd let them a bit slightly sneak it, to be fair, because they've been with the momentum they've got. But no, a great result again for Cumnock, and as I say, it's really kind of quite tight. The top of that kind of top 6 of that top 7 of the division is really tight.
Yeah, there's 9 points between 1st and 15th. So I don't think you'll see that anywhere else in world football. It's unbelievable. Maybe the second division.
This is what I mean, Scott. It's ultra competitive. I mean, it really is. The Premier Division, it's great for fans as well, I suppose. If you're sitting as a supporter, but as a neutral, to see that really every game matters, every single game matters. You know what I mean? So it's, as you say, if 15th up to 1st, having such a small gap.
And you've 6 games.
Anything can happen.
You've 6 games in Saturdays during the weekend as well, and only one of them was won by more than 1 goal. So it shows you they're really tight.
How tight?
A lot of sides are really and amongst it together. So it's going to be. I think this is one of the best leagues in Scotland at the moment. First division, another competitive league, and we have new league leaders of it. So I think that's probably the 5th or 6th time I've said that this season. St Cadoc's are the new league leaders. They beat the former league leaders Gartcairn 2-0 away from home. Rogers in an own goal. St Cadoc's obviously moved a point clear of Gartcairn and Kilbirnie. St Cadoc's, they've went about their business quite quietly. They've won the last 4 games. They've not they've came from kind of sitting about 12th, 11th. We know at the start of the season a lot of people fancied them, and rightly so. They've got a really good side, but they're going about their business quietly, and now they're exactly where they want to be.
No, definitely. Again, it's another really tight league. I think when you're talking, what is it, 3 points or something for 1st to 7th or 8th. So you've got another really tight league. And so momentum can go both ways, can't it? You can get a really good momentum or a bad momentum. They've obviously got the good momentum and working their way up to the top of the league. So no, it's well done to them. Yeah,
absolutely. Big win for St Cadoc's. Kilbirnie got a massive win as well, a 7-2 home win over WOSFL. James Marks with a hat-trick for them. Kilbirnie puts them back to winning ways. They'd lost the last 2, and Tommy will be delighted just to get another win on the board and get back to winning ways.
Some size of win, 7-2. I think WOSFL might be struggling a wee bit in there. Kilbirnie obviously had a really good start to the season, didn't they? They were sitting top, but to get a convincing win like that at 7-2, really good, and likely push them on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. As I say, that the kind of top 3, the top maybe 5 or 6 you're looking at just now, like they deserve to be there. Drumchapel sitting in 11th as well. I think Drumchapel, obviously, they'll be riding off their cup experience as well. They'll be looking to get a run on the board and get back up towards the top of the table. Johnston, they're in a good place as well. They had a 5-0 home win over Rutherglen. Thomas Cooden with a hat-trick, Brophy and Connor with the goals. Big one for Johnson. Again, another team that's going through their business quietly. They're sitting in 18 points for 12 games. They've been relatively consistent this season.
Another big win, 5-0. Johnson, I feel, has always been quite a good team as well. I mean, we're new to this league, Scott, so we're trying to learn about a lot of the teams. But I know when we played the Johnson 21s, we were always a really, really strong side, and you can imagine that going into their first team. So, a great win for them, 5-0 at home.
Absolutely. St Roch's, they sit in 4th place, a 4-2 home win over Cumbernauld. Brian Henderson with a hat-trick. St Roch's, sitting 4th place, 19 points from 11 games. I think David Gregg's done one of the jobs of the season so far. Like, I really do. Like, I didn't think St Roch's would be up at the top kind of this stage in the season. For David to get them there, I think it's been a massive achievement so far.
2 points behind the leaders as well. So again, just goes to show how close the league is. And Cumbernauld on the far away. I know they're sitting mid-table, but they're only about 4 or 5 points behind the leader as well. So again, ultra competitive football in the west of Scotland.
Benbourg 5-1 win over Flatlets. Jack Purdue with a double. Lovering, Black and McTaggart with the goals. Benbourg moves them into 10th place. They've maybe had a difficult start, but they're now beginning to get going. That's a massive win over a Flatlets team who are struggling a wee bit.
I think they are a wee bit now. Again, 5 wins are quite a substantial win. But I know, is it Gordon Poppett's at Flatlets he went in? Was it last season he went in? So again, conference level an absolute shark tank last season, and then you're just trying to find your feet at the league you're in. But hopefully the guy can bring it back. But tough at the bottom. I know how it feels, but I really convincing win for Benbourg.
Final game as well. First division, Neilston 2, Thornleywood 1, Fletcher and Clark with the goals. Puts Neilston into 6th place. Their first win in 3 games. Big result for Neilston, but a really tight game by all reports.
2-1. So I'm pretty sure that, again, it's a momentum, isn't it? It goes back to that word momentum. So hopefully it'll maybe kick Neilston on a wee bit. But 3 points a game behind the leaders, you're sitting in there looking and think to yourself, and a couple of results in here and we're heading to the top. So
absolutely. There was 4 games in the 2nd division. We'll just go through them. Muirkirk led 3 times at home to league leaders Renfrew. Renfrew clawed it back 3 times. It was a 3-3 draw. Really exciting game by all reports at Renfrew. Muirkirk holding the league leaders. They'll be, although they've restored they've reduced, obviously going behind 3 times. Muirkirk will be delighted to score 3 and give the league leaders a tight game.
Well, a bit of a coupon buster, to be fair. That
possibly,
and then through and another money's worth, 6 goals. Again, Muirkirk lately gone down there. It's going to be a tough place for them to go, and Renfrew, they're flying high this season. That's where we played Thorn at Renfrew's ground, and that's the first time we've been there. Great wee setup. And I was talking to a kind of older guy there, one of the committee members that's followed Renfrew for years and years. I love hearing that. It's great stories to hear that kind of thing at our level of football. I really kind of personal story, but Renfrew's flying high. So a great draw, a great point for Muirkirk to get.
Definitely. 4th are sitting 2nd in the league. It was a really close game between 4th and Glasgow Persia. 4th got the away victory. Stephen Frame with a goal. Puts them into 2nd place. A massive Tommy Devine's done a great job there as well.
That's what they're sitting. Is it 3 points?
Second, they're 3 points behind Renfrew.
Obviously, again, try to get a wee bit of momentum on the go. I think Ashfield's sitting with a few games in the hand behind them, so they'll be looking to keep kind of pushing on and pushing Renfrew all the way.
Yeah, definitely. Big result for them. Maryhill get their first win, I think, in 7 games, and it lifts them off bottom of the table with a massive 4-2 away win at Yoker. Sean Hanlon with a double, McLaren and Long with the goals. Again, getting off bottom of the table and getting a 4-2 away victory, it's a good day at the office for Maryhill.
Yeah, we played them in a friendly a couple of months ago. Great guy, Mark, so I know he'll likely be buzzing with that result. He's obviously had a kind of bit of uphill battle, I think, with his squad and that at the start of the season and try to build a squad. So for him to get that win and get him off the bottom of the table, I know he'll have a good weekend anyway. 4-2 again, another 6 goals, Scott. So it's high scoring games anyway.
There's goals everywhere. And there was goals at Kilsyth as well. A 2-2 draw with Kilsyth Rangers and Greenock Juniors. Again, probably an even game. Just like listen to a couple of people talking about it. Greenock have probably been needing the one more. They're sitting in 13 points from 13 games. Kilsyth are 15 from 12. Two sides will be wanting to get a run going in the league, I would say.
Definitely. Don't really know, to be fair, I don't really know a lot about the two teams. Obviously, they've been going for quite a number of years, Scott. It's just we're trying to learn every day it's in the league. Yeah. But no, we're in contact with Greenock Juniors a couple of weeks ago to get some friendlies arranged with them, hopefully at some point. But I should we try and kind of play teams that are a little higher up and try and learn off them. But no, I think maybe a fair result by sounds it between Kilsyth and Greenock.
Absolutely, that's the second division. Right, we'll go to the third division. Ardrossan, they extended the lead and they're still a point clear of Lanark, who obviously won as well. A 1-0 win over Fanart. Chris Craig. Ardrossan, you've been impressed with them?
Aye, Ardrossan's quite a big club. I couldn't see them being in the third division long, to be fair. They're well supported, got a good setup, good youth academy as well there. So, and obviously Gavin knows his stuff. So, no, they're likely where they deserve to be fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Lanark, they beat Saltcoats 2-1 at home. Ian Watt with a double, obviously keeps them 1 point behind Ardrossan. Big result for Lanark. Just a tight game. Saltcoats made it tough. Big result for Lanark.
Aye, no, definitely. I was talking to Derek on Sunday, to be fair, and I think Saltcoats have kind of turned a corner. They've picked up a few points as well. So whatever Derek's doing at Saltcoats is obviously starting to work. So it sounded a really tight game. So I know Lanark obviously winning at home and keeping their position up at the top of the league, but I could see Saltcoats maybe starting to climb up as well a wee bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Big occasion for Irvine Vicks. Kevin Adams, the all-time club goal scorer, he scored as Irvine Vicks went to Carluke and won 4-1. Kevin Adams, what a story! What a story! All-time club goal scorer. Some achievement for the guy.
No, he seems to score goals all the time. I've been down to watch Irvine Vicks a few times. I went to watch him when they played Thorn. In fact, it was a 13-goal thriller. Needs my abacus for that one. But again, he scores goals all the time. The guy, he knows where the net is. He's a good target man, and what a great achievement. What's something to say for the CV that you're the all-time top goal scorer for Irvine Vicks. No, well done.
Yeah, some achievement for Kevin Adams. Congratulations to him. Vale of Clyde, they're on a really good run as well. They had a 5-1 home victory over Les Mahago. Thomas Skinner, with a double. Again, Vale of Clyde, I've been really impressed with them so far. I think they've won 4 out of the last 5 in the league. They've been a really good side this season. I think they could be right in the hunt at the end of the season in promotion.
I know they've picked up quite a good few results. They've won 10 out of their 13 games, so obviously a very, very good side and likely one of the favourites to get promoted. So, no, brilliant.
Vale of Leven, they got a big 4-1 home victory over Royal Albert. Royal Albert, they're sitting bottom. Vale of Leven, I think that's their first one in 7 games. Big 4-1 win. Patterson, McGeechy, May and Curry. When you're in that kind of run of no winning games, just getting that first one can give you so much confidence to do more.
Yeah, I know that feeling well, especially this season, Scott. that division's a lot of pressure in managers in that division, considering they're 6 going down the end of the season. Yeah. So, real pressure for guys at the bottom half of the table. So, every win, every point down there is crucial.
Yeah. Jamie McKenna scored twice for Port Glasgow as they beat Lugar 3-2. Two sides relatively kind of even in the table now. Port Glasgow sitting in 16 points. Lugar are now in 10 points from 13 games, but obviously that means it's a 6-point gap. But Port Glasgow, they've got a lot of good players. I think Port Glasgow, I've said this a few times, once they get a run going, I think they'll do pretty well. Yeah,
we've always played them. We played them in the league. Again, another 11 goals. In that game, it was a nerve-wracking game to watch. We were 5-1 up at one point, and then they started to pull it back. But no, I'm quite. Again, Port Glasgow's a big club, and I can see them. I can't see them getting relegated. I think they'll gradually work their way up that league.
and the final result was Newmains 1, Bells Hill 0. Newmains a side that's picked up recently as well. Michael Vareccia with a goal. Big result for Newmains, and it gets them going.
Yeah, again, quite a tight game in it be with Bells Hill there. As I say, that bottom 6, bottom 8 of that league, every point's crucial, Scott, for them to try and stay in that division. So, no, a big win for them.
The other results in the 4th division, I want to get your thoughts on these. Kilsyth kept their winning run going. That's now their 12th win of the season, a 3-1 home win over St Peters. Kilsyth Athletic, we spoke to Bailey as well in the past few weeks, a really, really good coach. Kilsyth are just going and going, aren't they?
Aye, I think they're the only unbeaten side in Scotland.
I think they are, actually, yeah.
We've got them on Saturday, so I come down to winning. No, really, our games have been quite close. A lot. The games we've played 10 games. And out of 10 games, I would say maybe 7 have been really close. Kilsyth was one of the games. They trounced the 6-0. Really good, fast, good counter-attacking football. Played the 4-3-3. Got the balls out wide. They're obviously well drilled, but Bailey's obviously a really good coach and works well with that group of players. So, a massive challenge for us on Saturday. But no, they're really, really good side, and I think they nearly got promoted last season, didn't they? I think there was only one that went up for that division last season.
Yeah, they were second, yeah.
Yeah, so they've come into this season with a bit between their teeth, and they'll be looking to obviously get up into the 3rd division for next season.
Yeah, another side who we really want to do that as well when they're going the right way about it. That's their 10th win of the season. I think it's their 7th or 8th win in a row. West Park United a 2-0 away win over Glenvale. Graham and Kennedy with the goals. West Park as well. They're another side who'll be wanting up. They're a really good side, I think, in that league.
Yeah. Move the ball well, physical. The boy Stephen Graham, a really, really good player.
Really good player.
I'm pretty sure there'll be quite a few offers going into West Park for that boy. He's really good coming in off the left-hand side. But again, 2-0, you look at that Glenvale, bottom of the league, we beat Glenvale 4-3, but again, it was a really, really close game. Every single game in that league is pretty close. But no, West Park, really, really good side, flying. And I think they've made another couple of signings in the past few weeks as well to strengthen. So, no, top side they'll always be looking to get in the mix.
Yeah, absolutely. Threave made the long, I think was it something like 12-hour trip or something I read? A 4-2 away victory at Campbelltown Pupils. Douglas Coles, Potts and Brotherson with the goals for them. Big result for Threave, and I think probably a day out for a lot of their fans.
Aye, no, definitely. I think it's one of the longest trips in Scottish football, that, for a league. I think they stayed in the Barton on the Friday night. I heard. Don't know if that's true or no, but they're a great setup. We've been down there. They beat us 3-0 convincingly, to be fair. Very, very good setup. Again, a bit like Paul, great hospitality. No, it's always tough going to Campbelltown as well. That was obviously their first game of the season. A great introduction into the West of Scotland to go and play Campbelltown away. Great away day, mind you, but it's tough to go there. It's a tough place to go. And Campbelltown are a really physical team, and they we were a bit naive maybe when their first game of the season against them. They kind of bullied us off the park a wee bit, but every team will struggle to go there. I think every team will struggle, not just with the journey, but just the way Campbelltown play their football. But no, a good result for Threave on the road. And I know Vinny, what he's done down there and the type of players he's got, really good calibre of player. They'll be looking to push Kilsyth all the way and get promoted into that 3rd division for next season.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a team, obviously, with ambition are going through the leagues. The final game, Rossvale Academy 1, Harmony Row 4. Here, Osafo, O'Neill and Fulton with the 4 goals for Harmony Row. I think that takes Harmony Row off the bottom of the... No, it doesn't. It takes them above Campbelltown, actually, into 10th. Glenvale are obviously still sitting bottom. Harmony Row's first one, I think, in 7 games as well. Big 3 points, especially away from home. Yeah.
Harmony Row, they're a good side. We played them. It was an absolute end-to-end game with us. We were, it was 2 each at one point, and we kind of tried to go for it because we had quite a few chances, and he scored something like in the 91st minute. It was an absolute killer for us. That was their smash and grab that we had to face. But they're a good side. They're a wee bit experienced, quite young. fast, fit, know how to move the ball. Rossfield's the same. Rossfield's maybe going through a wee bit of a tough time now, but again, it was a close game with us as well. Really good front line on Rossfield, so no, it's quite a big win for him now, I would say. So again, as you say, it moves them up that league a wee bit. It's quite competitive down the bottom end of the fourth with us.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's that kind of thing as well. You've obviously got the good sides like Kilsyth Athletic, West Park, who are probably eyeing for promotion, but you've got competitiveness at both sides of that table, which, as you say, there's no easy game in that league.
No. That's, as I say, Scottish Shark Tank. It's a definite Shark Tank. I think maybe the league will change next season when the 6 go down and the 3 go up. It might even things out a wee bit, and I don't mean that bad in any teams that's coming down. It's just Kilsyth Athletic, they're a really good side, and West Park, I've watched St Peters a couple of times, a young side, but move the ball really quick. Threeves, obviously, great setup and real good ambition down there, and a good calibre of players. So these are all teams that likely should be pushing on up through the divisions, and they'll not be here for long. So they'll make their way up the leagues and that. So no, it's an absolute competitive league, but it's one of the reasons why we wanted to be here. And so every weekend's a challenge to us, and we just try and get better week by week.
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to get your thoughts, obviously, as well. When you mentioned there, obviously, about Pollock, you look the kind of cup experiences you've had as well. You played Pollock and Clydebank, and you said there about obviously about playing Port Glasgow. What's that? What do the experiences do for the club, and obviously the players like playing big sides like that?
We spoke about that when we managed to get into the league. We had a team meeting and we got the kind of draw pretty quick. We were facing Pollock. Boys were absolutely buzzing.
Yeah.
Clydebank, heaviest defeat ever as a coach. I'm glad I never got asked on that week. 14.
I think we did.
14-0. Aye, 14-0. Destroyed us. Different levels, Scott. Absolutely different levels. An absolute learning curve for not just the players, for coaches as well, us as well, for who we are trying to coach up against. We're trying to learn and get better. So it's something we speak about. That's where our players want to aim for. How quick you move the ball and speed of thought and things like that. So it's been, the Clydebank game was really hard to take, to be fair. But we had quite a few players out and a new goalkeeper in and things like that. But I kind of put on all the subs within about 60 minutes in to give them just to let them experience it about what it's like to play against a team at that level. Mm-hmm. So massive learning curve. But no, listen, the Pollock game 6-0, we walked away as if we'd won the cup, to be fair, against Pollock. It was really a great experience for us, especially being up there away from home and the way we were treated. So I've got a right wee soft spot for Pollock, definitely. But no, great experience for my boys and for us coaches. So can only stand us in good stead in the long run.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, a few league games coming up before Christmas as well. You mentioned there, host Kilsyth Athletic on Saturday, but two away games coming up before Christmas, away to Easterhouse and away to Rossfield. How are you preparing for them?
Well, obviously we've played Rossfield before. We're kind of concentrating on ourselves a wee bit now, Scott. So as I said, we're trying to kind of change our style of play. So our training's a lot to do with that kind of thing, and looking at our fitness levels and things. The players have got a fitness program they've now got to follow with their training, so trying to get them up that level, and they're all buying into it. That's a good thing about them. They want to push their standards, they want to constantly push themselves, which is what we're looking for. So there's two tough games for us, or three tough games, sorry, when you include Kilsyth. Easterhouse we don't really know anything about, but they've obviously sitting mid-table with their 3 wins as well and 2 draws. So it's like we'll treat it like any other game. It's a game where we'll go out and we'll give 100% and try and get something out of the game.
Yeah. And as I say, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on, William, and I really admire what you're doing at Eglinton. We wish you all the best for the season ahead and what's coming up for the club. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. No,
the pleasure's been all mine, Scott. Thanks for my very first podcast, and I've really enjoyed it. I appreciate the invite.
It's been a pleasure, not at all. Thank you very much. And thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. Please follow us on social media for more consistent West of Scotland football coverage, and subscribe to our YouTube and podcast channels for our weekly West of Scotland football show and other content on the channel. Thank you very much, everyone. We'll see you soon. Cheers.